Hi there, it's Jeff Brown again. This is video number 7 in the series from Focus on Marketing, how to make more money from your wedding photography. Now, today's video is not really about making more money, it's just how to make your day a bit easier. If you're new to wedding photography or you've never done a wedding before and you've got one coming up, hopefully you'll find this tip very useful. It's something I've used countless times over the past 12 years when I've been doing wedding photography, and I've now done over 750 weddings, and I have not done a wedding without a pre-organised plan of what I'm going to do and a copy of my wedding shooting list, which I carry with me all the time. Now at the end of this video I'll give you my email address, and if you'd like a copy of my wedding shooting list, which is a template on how to make the wedding much more successful and much more smoothly, then just drop me an email and I'll get you one out. And if you've got any other questions as well, you can just put them in the email, and I promise I'll try and get back to you within a couple of days with an answer. Now, most of my weddings now are booked online, so they're booked through Facebook or booked through a website, so I don't actually meet a bride face to face when she books me for the wedding. However, what I do insist, if possible, now I do a lot of weddings across the country and I have done weddings abroad as well. Sometimes it may not be possible to meet the bride and groom, but you can do meetings over Skype, or you can do long telephone conversations with them and just go through everything in detail. But I would recommend, where possible, having a meeting with the bride and groom about a month before the wedding, while everything's sort of organised and arranged, and they know all the timings and they know who's coming along and they know what they're going to be wanting. And another thing, if you get a chance to visit the venue again about a month before the wedding. And if you can visit the venue roughly about the same time as when the wedding is, so if they get married at 12 o'clock, maybe pop along to the venue at 12 and you can see what the light is going to be like before, and hang around, do a bit walking around, work out where you're going to do the photographs of the groups and where you're going to go the photographs for the romantic portraits of the couple themselves after the service. Now, what I tend to do is a month before the wedding, I'll get the bride and groom round, or I'll go around to meet them, or we can meet at the venue for a coffee and a chat, and we go through the whole day in detail from start to finish. And there's a few things that you need to know and you may need to make sure that you get. Now I have this shooting list, and this is something I work off, as I said, for every single wedding I'm doing. Now when I start talking to the bride and groom, I run through the whole day with them, so they're completely aware of where I'm going to be and what time I'm going to turn up and where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing. So the first thing I do is I find out where the bride's leaving from. So is she leaving from a house, or is she getting ready at the venue if it's a hotel? If she's leaving from the house, make sure you ask how far her house is from the venue. How long will it take to get in the car? Because she might be getting married at 11 o'clock, but it's a 20-minute drive to the venue. So you need to counter that into your timings. Another thing I do is I tell the groom what time I would like him or prefer him to be at the venue. So if they get married at 11, I might say to the groom, could you be at the venue for 10 o'clock to meet one of my photographers, or if I'm doing it myself, to meet me, because I'll go to the bride a bit earlier than get to the grooms for about 10:30. And one of the other things that I always make sure I do is I get a first name of every single person who is in the bridal party, and mums and dads. So that includes obviously bridesmaids, flower girls, ushers and best men, best man. And also you want to put in there the relationship of those people to the bride and groom, if it is a sibling or a son or daughter. So for instance, if the bridesmaids includes our sister, and our sister's called Leslie, when you type up the shooting list, and in that section you'll put in Leslie in brackets bride sister, because you know that when you're doing the photographs in the house with the bride and her mum and dad, you'll also need to do some photographs with Leslie in there as well, because obviously mum and dad want their other daughter in, and you'd also want some photographs of the bride with her sister. Likewise for the groom and his mum and dad and brothers and sisters. And another thing as well, if the bride and groom have kids, make sure that goes in to your shooting list as well. So if the kids, especially if they're page boys or ushers, put in brackets couple's son, couple's daughter, so you know you need to take as many photographs with the couple's son and the couple's daughter in as possible. Now, also on the shooting list, something I put down is a list of group photographs. Now there's pretty much standard group photographs which are done all the time, which is obviously the bridal party and then there's parents. Now you need to find out the names of the parents, first names, and one question that if you haven't done weddings before, this is something that's essential you ask: does everybody like each other? I always say that, is everybody getting on? Do they like each other? Now sometimes the bride's mum and dad might be divorced or separated, and they don't want photographs next to each other, or they will bear with each other for the sake of the day and have the photographs taken, but then they want photographs with their new partners as well. So it might be the bride and our mum and dad, and then the bride and the bride's mum with a new boyfriend, and the bride with the bride's dad and a stepmom. So this is something you need to take into consideration. And also remember, and this has happened to me on a couple of occasions, sometimes the groom's parents don't like the bride's parents. So you've got to make sure that both sets of parents actually get on with each other as well. And also just ask, is there any other family politics you need to be made aware of? Because if you're doing group photographs, or if there's people who have issues with each other, then you need to make sure those people are kept away from each other. So just as long as you know, then that will make your day go a hell of a lot better. And something else you need to find out is, once you've done the standard group photographs, what other photographs would they like taken? Now obviously you're going to be taking photographs in the grounds. You might want to go off to another venue. So if the wedding reception doesn't have fantastic grounds, if it's more like a modern hotel and it doesn't have a garden, then maybe you might want to go to a local park, or you want to go to the beach or somewhere like that. But remember, you've got to filter in the time from getting to the reception venue from that other destination, whether it's the park or the seafront. And another thing that you need to find out is there any other group photographs that they would like? Now normally after I've done the photographs of the service, then I'll do the group photographs, which is the family. So it's the family and the bridal party. Then we go to the venue of the choice, or the venue where the wedding is, and do the photographs of the bride and groom. Those are like the nice portrait photographs of the two of them just together, the romantic photographs. And then what I tend to do is leave them for about 10-15 minutes while I'll go around and take photographs of everybody naturally enjoying themselves. And then I'll ask the bride and groom, right now it's time to do your requested group photographs. Now these could be anything. It could be the groom and the lads from the football team, the bride and the girls from the hen night, the bride and groom with their favourite auntie and uncle, the bride and groom with all the kids. Another popular one is the bride and groom with everybody. Personally, I don't like doing these particular shots because they take ages, and it's not that the shot itself takes ages, it's the rounding up of everybody. I always employ the groomsmen, best men, to give me a hand. So I'll have a word and I'll say, look, can you round everybody up? I need them outside on the lawn or wherever you're going to be doing a group photograph. And there'll always be somebody who's gone to the toilet, there'll always be somebody who's gone for a cigarette, and there'll always be somebody who's gone to the bar. So you might have everybody out, and then somebody realises, oh, Grandad's not here, where's he gone? Oh, I saw him in the toilet. And the whole thing takes about 10 or 15 minutes to get everybody together and get that one photograph done. So just make sure that if it's a big group photograph, you allow yourself 10 or 15 minutes to do that photograph. And another thing is, when you take the photograph, don't just take one, take about 6 or 7. I take about 4 or 5 as standard with any group I do, just because somebody will blink. And if there is kids in there, then obviously the chances are they're not going to be looking at the camera for every single picture. So you just want one really good picture where they're looking at the camera, and then I just tend to bin the rest. So well, I hope you found this useful. There's a lot more information on my shooting list, and like I said, I will send you a copy if you would like one. And if you have any other questions at all about your wedding, then obviously just drop me a message. It is quite nerve-wracking when you do your first. 750 later, I tend not to think about it as much now, but obviously I give it 100%. You know, you only get one chance to do this, so you've got to make sure everything's right. And the best way to do it is, preparation. Make sure you're sorted the night before, you've got your shooting list, you've rehearsed your shooting list, you know all the names, all your batteries are charged up, your backup batteries are charged up, your backup camera's ready, your cards are formatted, and you arrive at the venue or at the bride's house 15 minutes before you're supposed to arrive. And it just gives you a chance to get yourself together, take a deep breath, go through your shooting list before you go into the house. There's nothing worse than arriving late, because if you arrive late, you're going to be in a fluster, it's going to make you a bit more nervous, and just things tend to spiral downhill from there. And I have done it before myself, so now I'll always set off early. So anyway, good luck with with your next wedding, and I hope you found this useful. And if you want to drop me an email, my email is info at focusonmarketing.co.uk, or you can go to the Facebook page, which is basically facebook.com/focus on marketing, and just drop me a message and I'll pick it up. And like I said, I'll send you a copy of my shooting list. Now, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Every video I make is just recorded live and then uploaded to Facebook, so I don't bother editing because basically I just don't really have the chance. I mentor quite a lot of photographers throughout the UK and overseas, as well as running my social media marketing side of the business and photography, so I don't really have a lot of time to be editing videos, but I just hope that you find it useful and you bear with us for all the mistakes I tend to make as I do this. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I've really enjoyed doing it, and look forward to hearing your feedback and your comments. Good luck. Thanks very much. Goodbye.